like to welcome everyone to the conversation where we talk about everything Cowboys. My favorite team, your favorite team, America's team. Here with your host, Coach Marv.
What's going on, Cowboy Nation? How y'all doing, man? Hey, man, just coming in to you for a minute, man. Just gonna, just want to trying this new things out and trying to try to get a little talk to you before I embark on my trip to the great state of Texas to go for my first ever Cowboy game in the great state of Texas, and to see the Cowboys up hand and personal, man, to feel the atmosphere of a game in Dallas, man, and to get to see my team play for the first time and live in home game, man. Very, very never be anxious. I'd never be anxious about anything. I let just talking about it today when I was around some people at the barbershop and tell them, saying, never be anxious about anything, man. Everything is in the time that we don't control, which is the control of our Maker, and our Savior, that controls when we do things and when things happen. So when things do come about, I'm happy when they come about. Ecstatic when they come about. When those things come about, when we do get a chance to do those type things and be a part of it. I am so happy to say I had the chance to maybe get there, and let's hope for safe travels, because this is a crazy storm coming down here in Columbia, in South Carolina, and we got to try to get to the airport and get there and get out of town and get to Texas, and hopefully we can get back to South Carolina when that storm comes through, that we can maybe get back to here. But let's pray for safe travels. Just wanted to step in right quick, man, and we're gonna talk about some things, man. And I just wanted to say, when I say let's win, I also want to tell people thank you, man, because the channel is growing. We hope to be able to grow. I hope to be able to grow to get better videos and more stuff into my videos. But I think a lot of this is self-taught, man. I'm learning this on the go. What you see with logos and stuff of that nature is all that I'm just learning, which I'm not a very computer savvy guy, but we're learning on the go. But I want to say thank you, because of your support and your following me and your being a part of this channel, and part of this has gotten me up to over 600 subscribers, and to the watch hours to the first tier of the monetization, which is great, man. And it's all about you, man. And it's all about the Cowboys. I hope that my content strikes a chord in you that talks about, in a real sense, about what the real football nature is of trying to win. And it's all about the same thing, to build aspects of life. In the barbershop, I was talking today, and we try to make sure that when we talk about football, man, I always try to make sure you understand that it's the content of football is the great microcosm of life, and working together with one of the greatest team sports in sports, which we're working with. Life is a team sport. It's a team activity, and that's the same thing I try to get over to the kids that I have had in my life. It's the same thing I try to get over to you as a Cowboy, and hopefully the Cowboys are themselves to get to this point where they're working as a team to try to get to a goal of winning a championship and getting better. And what better way to get better is to play one of the contending teams that people say are one of the best teams in the NFC. at home on a Sunday night after a big trade. How well we can get together as a mental capacity, what it's going to take for us to be able to get back into a mental state and to get into a good feeling about ourselves as a football team, how it's going to be for us to be able to get to a point where we're going to be dominant, and how we're going to get to a point where we're going to be able to come out and be victorious in a very hostile, I ain't gonna say hostile because we're at home, but it's gonna be a hostile environment because of the fact that we are the ones that are potentially, we are the ones that are potentially the ones that are looking to be, we're the ones that is potentially the underdog here. And when you're the underdog, it's always a hard thing when you're the underdog to try to be able to win a game. And especially anytime anybody plays the Cowboys, they're coming with their best effort. And they're going to come into Green Bay. And Green Bay has a lot of confidence in playing the Cowboys. What's going on, people, man? If you're about to checking in, man, thank you for coming in. But Green Bay has a lot of confidence. No, I don't like to do name dropping, but I will. I don't think he would have a problem with this name drop, and and I'm not trying to throw names out there. It's like I've been talking about. I remember talking to Law Nation. Y'all remember? Y'all know Law Nation, the biggest Cowboy YouTuber it is. And I remember when we lost to Green Bay 3-4 years ago in Green Bay when we had a 2-touchdown lead. And it was such a deflating loss, man. I remember Law just gave me a call, man. He was just deflated, man. He was just deflated by what we did to lose that game. And I told him at that time, we lost that game because we gave up too many big plays. And we didn't lose that game because they ran the ball. A lot of people want to say, man, because they ran the ball dominated. No, they didn't. We were really strong as the run. I mean, yes, they ran the ball a lot of times to get some yards, but big plays. And then comes in 2 years ago when we play them in the playoffs. Green Bay comes in here, and all their players during the game, they kept talking about we front runners. We are the front. We front runners. You can see when they had little clips of the game, they're talking about front runners. And I know what the quarterback said on Michael Parsons' show, talking about we came in because we knew y'all had little safeties playing linebackers, so we ran the ball. That was just. They didn't run the ball. They ran it down our throat. It got to the point where they ran the ball a little bit better because when we start getting down, our head drops. And then we start giving up big plays in the passing game. And Love is going to look for those big plays in the passing game. And the Green Bay is going to look for the big plays in the passing game and the run game in this game. That's their plan to beat the Cowboys. Wouldn't it be your plan to beat the Cowboys? And I know we keep talking about it, but wouldn't it be your plan? If you look at our record and our season for the last 2 weeks, we giving up big plays like crazy. So wouldn't that be your plan to attack the Cowboys in big plays? That would be your plan to say, hey man, let's go and attack these guys with big plays, because big plays is how we're going to make sure we get a living. We have a living against the Dallas Cowboys. So what do we need to do to stop the big plays? I know a lot of people talking out there. Well, let's be honest. There's no trades that's going to happen between now and Sunday night. There's no trades going to happen between now and Sunday night. So if you're in your mind that we need to, in your mind, all your talk is about what the team needs to go out and get, and we need to go get this, and we need to go get that, and we need to go get these guys and get this guy. You're not helping the confidence of this football team talk about getting rid of guys and trading guys and bringing other guys in with your focus now need to be is, damn it, let's go out and win a game, man. Let's play like I know you can play. Because, see, we didn't have this confidence about going and getting all these guys before the season started. So now we got to get the confidence and say, hey, if we're going to go out there with Malik Hooker, if we're going to go out there with Donovan Wilson, we need to find out that they got the fortitude in them to come up and give us a game. Now, does that mean we're not going to go out and say, man, we need to go get somebody else? Well, hey, that's neither here or there. But we need to get out there on Sunday and play a football game like we know we can play it. And stop using these excuses and put them in the back seat and go out and play football like I know we can go out and play football. Now, do we need to go out there and win a game? Yes, we do not want to go down 1-3. Does that mean the season is over with 1-3? No. But that means we do have to dig out a hole because we have 3 divisional losses, NFC losses. So we behind in tiebreakers, and then we'll be behind in the division. That's all right. There's going to be some people that's going to come back to the back, and there's going to be some descending. But I got to see, like in my last video, are we upset about where we at now? I ain't talking about our fans, us. Yeah, we upset. And a lot of our fans are panicking. But is the players upset? Now, I'm not dissing nobody about what they're saying and about, they're about, F those picks and all that. But I ask anybody to debate me to tell me when someone has been a wheeling and dealing, when it got wholesale guys during the middle of the season, wholesale guys. I ain't talking about no one when you had your other players playing well and you just got a guy to add on. But if we're not playing well, there is no just getting a whole bunch of guys and say we're going to get rid of, run a bunch of picks and overpay for people that say, well, that's going to change us. And I don't want to argue with people about that, but basically that only happens in fantasy football. When you're looking for numbers. But there's more than numbers when you bring other guys in. There's a fit. There's a fit for the locker room. There's a fit on the field. And just because a guy can play doesn't mean that he plays well for you. And then you really don't have no time to put it together. You're trying to put it together on the fly. And it's almost like you're saying, well, we're going to get 3-4 players and we're going to build a plane while it's in the air. That doesn't work in football, man. And I beg to differ when people say, yeah, well, you can do it. Because the teams that have been going to the Super Bowl, people say, well, the Rams did it. What did the Rams do? They had Aaron Donald. They had other guys. They brought in a pass rusher because they got him for little or nothing, and he helped a little bit. He helped solidify and gave them a boost in the pass thing. They didn't trade for Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham was released. And they got him for dirt cheap to come in to give them, and it didn't start out, but you had other players like Cooper Kupp was an MVP guy. So he came in and enhanced a little bit. Where else? They traded a quarterback for a quarterback. Where else did they do? That's the only example in the last 10 years we can talk about, well, they went out. It's not wholesale changes. Now, people have gone and got a piece, like the 49ers when they got a running back, but you're getting those things because the other players are playing well. But you're not going to change your fate if we not as a team playing well. You're not going to replace the guys that are the core players on your team with somebody else off the street or some other team and say, oh, man, we're going to be replaced. That's not going to happen, man. I understand where it comes from. because we're so thirsty to win. And I understand we're saying, well, at least we're doing something. But we're doing something that has a very little chance to win. And there's no documented history of that doing that. And I always say, show me documented history on a regular basis. Now, you may show me one out of every 10. Do I supposedly think that we're going to be the ones that are going to catch lightning in the bottle? But do I think that we got enough here? Yeah, I think we got enough. Do I think that we probably need to add on a person here and there, or we do need to get some guys some chances that we don't know that can play? Yes. But on yesterday, on the Monday Night Football, I saw an Arizona team that their defense is one of the best defense in the league playing wise on their fourth and fifth corner. Fifth and sixth corner. Guys that are rookies, but they're getting coached up to make plays. And they're making plays, they're making mistakes, but they're being solid enough to keep them in the game. And if this is what we have to understand, and I don't think our fans understand this. If you are on an NFL football team and you make a team, you can play. Are you going to make some mistakes? Or are you going to get some balls caught on you? Or are you going to miss some blocks here and there? Yes, that's every football player. And I hate this thing about the unknown and the known. Just because you're a name does not mean that that's a known. Because if somebody gives up on you, there's something wrong. Because if you were that great in week 4 and a team gives up on you, buyer beware. If you're waiting for Clowney, and let me say this about Clowney. Clowney's from South Carolina. Watched him all his career. Watched him when he was in high school. He was just a man child. When he was in South Carolina, he was a man child. He has had some very good years in the NFL. Not stellar years, but he has done intangible things that made him very good. But if we're thinking Clowney gonna come in here and he's gonna be the savior to the pass rush thing, and he's gonna be able to play 90% of the snaps because we got him off the street and say, okay, now he's gonna be our lead defensive end, and he's gonna be the guy that's gonna be the dominant defensive end. No, if he's coming in here to do 30 to 40% of the snaps, and he's got a particular role that you're asking him to do, yes, he's going to be very productive. But the days of him being an all-world defensive end and going 80% of the plays, that's over with, man. Because if he could, the NFL would have had him already on the team. You talking about a guy that ain't got no baggage. But you got to believe why people are not hiring people. And I think sometimes we forget that because other people know, insiders know. I had a very interesting conversation. I'm not going to speak on the name, but I had a very interesting conversation with a guy that's, and we're talking and he even could say, man, you can tell when people are coming to the end. The giddy up ain't there. The explosion ain't there all the way. And when these NFL teams turn on guys, or you see guys on the sideline, or they still out there in free agency, nobody picked them up, they're not frontline dominant guys no more. They could come in and do a job for you, for a specific job. But if you're talking about them doing overall jobs, those days are over. But there are players on this team, people, like the Flournays, like the Tolberts, like the Wanye Thompsons, like the Bells, like some of these the guys we got on the practice that played very well in the preseason. It's time for you to make stars. Other teams are doing it, man. When you watch the teams that are on top of this division, they got guys that they have brought up that playing that maybe some guys, they're only in 1 or 2 years. But we got to get out of this mentality of thinking that it's got to be a name. Now, I don't know if this guy's listening to the show. And I credit him for a lot of me even getting a start of a show. And I wish y'all tell Boss Cowboy that I gave him the shout out. But Boss Cowboy got a book, a draft book. And what's so appealing about his draft book is it's not about the biggest names in positions. It's about the names that go under the radar. And a lot of those people out that book turn out to be very good players in the NFL. But the top draft people only focus on the guys that the name has been gotten out there. But the name does not make you a player. And guess what? Some of those names just need opportunity. I keep telling you, how do you build a name? Opportunity. And when you have a team or a coach that gives a person that's talented enough to make this football team, which there's not a lot of guys that make NFL football teams. That's what less than 1% of the population that makes teams. And a coach gives this guy opportunity, and he allows this guy to make some mistakes. That's how guys grow to be great. See, somebody had to give Bland a chance. What's going on, brother? See, us and our thinking, we wouldn't have gave Bland a chance. We wouldn't have gave Bland a chance. In our thinking, we wouldn't have gave Bland a chance. Because our thinking is, it got to be a guy that we know. We'd rather go get a veteran because we want to get a guy that we know. And then we had to say, oh, man, he got to win the crowd. Man, no, he don't. He's got to be able to win his teammates, and he's got to be able to play consistent. He know he's going to make some mistakes. But Bland would not get a contract if it wasn't that he sees this opportunity and they let him go through his growing pains. People talk crazy about Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele's not playing bad at all. Run blocking, he's impeccable. Pass blocking, yeah, he loses to some good guys. That's going to happen. But if Terrence Steele didn't get a chance to go through his growing pains, we have to let guys go through their growing pains. And I understand we say, well, coach, we ain't got time to let people go through growing pains. We want guys that's ready-made. There is no ready-made. If you get a guy with a name, he's going to make mistakes. If you're trying to take this football, if you're trying to take the sport of football and say, I'm going to put a guy there and it's going to guarantee he's going to make a play against another grown man who's trying to get a living that's in the same division, in the same thing as the NFL, and you think that they're going to win every battle because of their name and just because you've just seen them do something before, then you're sadly mistaken. But we got players on this team that they got an opportunity, and we put the invested the time into them and went to them and believed them, they'll perform. But we got, this is the problem. Our fans are so, and I'm not trying to kill our fans because you is what make these YouTubers. I'm part of that fan base. But our fan base it's what I said in the barbershop today. We bougie. We only want Louis Vuitton, Prada, name brands. We could get the exact same thing for another product that's probably just as good, but if it don't have a name on it, we think it's trash. And we'll find stuff wrong with it. You know how people are bougie? They'll find something wrong with an off-brand because they think it's not good enough. So they'll find anything wrong with it. They say, oh, well, it don't, it's got a stitch missing here. Oh, man, it don't look as good in the dark. Oh, man, it don't fit as comfortable. It's not cut as big. They'll find something wrong because it doesn't have a name brand. And that's how we are with this team. And we take it to a whole nother level. If a guy's not a first round pick, even though he's a Terrence Steele, he's an undrafted free agent, we still holding that over his head. Yeah, I'm finna get to the game plan, Christopher, about that. Great question. But we still holding this over his head. And we got to get out of that bougie atmosphere and get back to being strictly football fans. And knowing that we can get some guys out the mud that really can play because other teams do it. And I'm going to get to that question when Christopher asked, but I want to give you one other message. Do you know, and go and check this out for yourself, do you know when the Kansas City Chiefs won their second Super Bowl back-to-back, on the second Super Bowl, they started 2 rookies and 1 second-year player in their secondary? Do you know the year that they won the second Super Bowl, they had a vast amount of injuries in their secondary, and they were playing with guys that was rookies and second year and had one of the top defenses in the league? Do you know that the Philadelphia Eagles played with 2 rookies starting in their secondary last year that was not top draft picks? And a second-year safety and a third-year safety that was not that great the year before and had the #1 defense and won a Super Bowl? Do you know that happen? Do you know they played with a linebacker named Braun that was a defensive end? They moved him to linebacker, and he was one of their better linebackers last year. See, don't tell me that you got to have stars in all these other positions, and you can't coach guys up and give guys opportunities, and you can strike gold. Because if you're on an NFL team, I've had guys out there that play Division I football. They can tell you how hard it is to make a Division I roster. And they tell you it's doubly, triply hard to get on an NFL roster and make a team. If you can make a team on an NFL roster, and we had, listen, and I'm going to tell you something about with Al Harris too. Let's don't get to the point of Al Harris. I'm going to talk about defense in 1 second. But if you're on an NFL team, you could play. Now I'm going to go to the questions, 2 questions. Leon, thank you for your question, man. And first I'm going to answer Christopher's question because it's all about y'all show right now. So what we're going to do, because we ain't going to be on long, so I'm going to go here. First, I'm going to see the question First, Christopher question. Then I'm coming to you, Leon, about your comment about Al Harris. Thank y'all for being into the show, man. I really appreciate y'all. So he said, do you think that the defense will have a different game plan for Sunday night? Let me tell you something, man. What's been hurting the defense? Big plays. And if you watch the film and you watch really, they have done everything to stop big plays. They have put the safeties back. They have played cover 2. They have played cover 4. They have played somewhat soft coverage. They are doing everything for stuff. The underneath passes are not killing us. Because when we start rallying to the ball now, let me explain something when people talk about this. I got some people out there that's talking about, oh man, this soft coverage, this soft coverage is killing us. The soft coverage is done to be able to stop big plays. And if you're not liking the soft coverage, what you're saying is, just because you're playing off coverage does not mean you don't supposed to be aggressive. Let me say that again. That doesn't mean that you don't read and react and punish guys when catching the ball underneath you. That don't mean that you don't have some instincts to see guys come in your zone, and when they attack your zone, it automatically you close the gap because it's a man. Then, so when y'all looking at all coverage and y'all see big gaps, and you're talking about zones, that's because your guys are not aggressive. And I think sometimes we look at it and say, oh man, you're going to give up some catches. I hate when I hear a game plan with everybody talking about, man, they're catching these balls underneath. You're not going to stop. Listen, if a guy want to run a 5-yard route or a 6-yard route and the ball is on time, you're not going to stop that shit. Let me tell you that, just be blunt. If the ball is on time and it's a 5 or 6-yard route, that's not going to be stopped. What you want to do is make them be that way, but you got to win the physical battle. So you may not see a different game plan. What you're going to be seeing is we play it better. Now, some people say that they say, well, let's be more aggressive with our coverage. I'm not a component of the aggressive with our coverage. Some people say, hey, can we get more aggressive with our coverage and play tighter coverage on our team? I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't come to the point where we're going to be more aggressive with our coverage. Because why? Everybody else has been giving their spiel about what we should do defensively. And I think this is going to come out. Now, you got it from Coach Marv. Nobody else ain't talking about this. But I'm telling you, they already know. I know the coaches know. And what they know is that we're not athletic. Thank you. Facts. Superior athletes can close gaps. And y'all, and Leon, you heard me say this when I was talking about what we need to do to fix this defense. Athletically, we're not, in safety, we're not very athletic. Now, we may have been a better athlete, but I think time is starting to tell on some of the injuries that we have gotten from Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson. They've been banged up, and I think that has slowed them down a little bit. And then they're instinctual. And then some people talk about, some of the linebackers being slow. It's about we're not being very instinctive, having very good instincts and attacking. Now, I can say that, hey, man, that's just coming when we got to get into rhythm and really get into rhythm of it. Yes, that can. And when Leon talks about Al Harris, Walton, coach these guys up. He has some coaching things that he did with the team, but then, they had some flaws as well. But I will say this about Diggs. Diggs got to be more disciplined. See, Diggs is going out and being rolled. Now, some people going to say, Coach, what you talking about that? There's no reason, and nobody's talked about this. When he slipped on that play that the guy got on him, it's 3rd down and 8. There was no reason for him to punch that guy with the outside hand. And he allowed the guy to go outside on him, and he punched him for what reason? Which knocked himself off bounds. See, everybody want to talk about the slip, but what started the slip? Poor technique started the slip, and you're taught. Poor technique allows you to get in bad situations where bad things happen. Good technique put you in good situations where good things can happen. That's why technique is important. Not only in corner, receiver, linemen, linebackers. And when you neglect proper technique, it can come back and bite you in the butt. 3rd and 8, what are you doing? You guarding the sticks. Second thing, have you watched film? Do you know Russell Wilson look for big plays? I told everybody that before the game started. So guess what you think he's going to try to get? Do you think Russell Wilson all game long, he threw big touchdowns on 3rd and long? That's what he does. He had just started against Dallas. This is what he's been doing the game before that, trying to get big plays. So if you're watching film and you're being a student of the football game, see, that was poor technique and poor IQ. And you're trying to bait people so you can get a big play, for you to get a big play. But what you should have been doing is doing your job to get us off the field. See, when you're the better player on our team, I really get on your case. We got a lot of people out there that don't get on the case with the better players, but we'll kill the guys, the newcomers, or the guys that trying to make their name. We'll kill them. But the better players, we'll be like, oh, he slipped. He's got, this Diggs. Or he don't travel to the football, or, come to the football when the run play, he really don't, he be chilling. We like, no, we should crucify him. Yes. Because, again, let me say this again. And I'm going to get to that when we're afraid about what you say about this whole type, when you say about Leofile, Thomas, and Bell. No. Yeah, you're right about the clock. But let me say this. We need to get on guys that are our better players. Why? Let me tell you what I say about talent. What if y'all been following me, I said there's only 4 things you can do with talent. When you got a talented player or a guy that got talent, there's only 4 things a coach is supposed to do with talent. We can't make talent. Their mom and dad makes talent. What's up, Steve Swoop? Their mom and dad makes talent. And this is why we need to get on our talented players and really ride them. That's called fanning them hard and coaching them hard with the players, the coaches. That don't mean we talking about we need to get them out of town. But this is what we need. There's only 4 things you're supposed to do with talent. The 4 things you could do with a talented player is what? I told you. First, motivate the talent. We got talented guys. We got to find somewhere in this coaching staff to motivate them. Keep the talent motivated. Number 2, refine their skills. What are they good at? We got to refine. That's like a diamond. The diamond don't come out the mine shining. You got people that refine it, buff it up. That's second, refine the skills. Motivate, refine the skills. The third thing is hold talented players accountable. I got to hold you to a value that I know that you can play at. And I can't accept when you don't do that and you start slacking off. I got to hold you to the level that I think you can play at. So when you go out there doing a bad technique and then end up slipping where you should have known that this is not going to be 3rd and 8, what are you doing? And then it slips. Because I say when you do out of ordinary things, bad technique, bad things can happen. Just pat your chest is not good enough for me. Do I throw you away? No. But I rip into your ass. And if you don't like it, fine. Because I'm doing number 3. I'm holding you accountable because of your talent. And I'm not going to make no excuses for you talking about, well, he came back too early. That has nothing to do with bad technique and doing something that you ain't had no business doing. So, and the 4th thing you can do with talented players, put them in the right positions for them to shine. That's all you can do with talented players. Motivate them, refine their skills, hold them accountable, and put them in the right spot. We got talented players, and we're not doing that 3 things as a coaching staff. So, yes, getting to some of the other things. We got some other players. We got some other things here. This is another great comment. Now, Leofold got some hiccups himself. He is more aggressive and fast, but sometimes he gets himself out of place too. Let's not get Leofold in the realm of him playing like the Age of Zero. Age of Zero is a better linebacker, but Leofold can be good, but he got a little bit more athletic ability, and he got more than Sanborn. But I don't think Sanborn is playing totally out of bad, because I think he is doing some run fits. And sometimes we talk about him in the passing game, but let me explain this. When linebackers are in zone, they can be attacked, man. When we see a linebacker not carrying zone and they throw the ball, then we can be killing the linebacker. Just go and look at your better linebackers in the league. If you're in the zone, you get in the right spot in the zone, that's where everybody's got to look. When the zone gets past the linebacker, he's looking for safeties to help them. And I think our zone is stretched too far because it goes back to what I was saying before. When you have better athletes, you can attack zones. Zones are better for you, and I understand. Then we talk about Thomas. Yeah, Wanye, but Wanye got to stay healthy. And it's time for Wanye to show approve, because Wanye can't show me that he can be a safety in this league now. Then he's gone from this team next year. Because Malik Hooker's on his last year. If Wanye can't show me he can play safety now, there's no need for bringing him back no more. Same thing with Bell. We signed Bell too. If Bell can't show me he can play safety, and now we know that uh, Wilson is on his out year. This is his last year basically too. Donovan Wilson. If Bell and Wanye can't show me that they can step up and be safeties in the league, there's no need to bring them back. We clear the whole safety room next year. It's no more waiting. If you 3 to 4 years in, if the next guy's not playing well and you show him you can't come in there and be that guy, then you just as bad as them. And that's just bottom line. And Clark is done, man. Clark he can be in the right spot, but he don't bring linebacker pop. And that's just how it is. Now, I ain't going to say Izzy should be there. Izzy had his hiccups. Izzy has some bet. See, we hear about Izzy doing something good in one game, but Izzy has his hiccups too. Because Izzy did something. See, here we is again with names. Because they did something for Flash. But if you look at the overall, Izzy has some hiccups too. A lot of them. We're looking for consistency. And there's some guys, probably the undrafted free agents that we got on this team that probably can give you more consistency and give you some more athleticism. Now, Josh Butler is going to be coming back sometime soon, probably in the middle of the year. And he showed a lot of athleticism and a lot of potential last year till he hurt his knee. But why did Josh Butler show some potential and some athleticism and show that he could probably play on the team? What did he have to get to be able to do that? An opportunity. And then he made an opportunity, and people were playing so well with his opportunity, then now people say, well, he could come back and help this team. Again, man, it just takes opportunities, man. And I'd rather go with these guys that's in these guys is in the secondary that's on this team. I'm ready to roll them all in there because some guys are going to show you that they can play. They may not make stars, but they'll be able to play together, and we can be a solid unit. But we must increase. Raviel, the rookie guy, I'm stashing him to the whole next year. When you don't go through a training camp, you're a rookie, and you ain't been through training camp, you too far behind of trying to catch up. And you only hurting him for trying to come in and hurting the team, trying to put him out there and this, that. Once you miss training camp as a rookie like that, and you're not a top pick, when you miss training camp like that, it's time to book you into next year and start on next year. That's it. Too much learning has gone by. Guys do not plug and play in the NFL. It takes some time to get to just the speed. And guess, after you get 3-4 weeks in, the real training is over with. All the hitting is over with. And you talking about telling the guy to come off the street and then get to a point and get ramped up for not only one thing about an injury, you can't do nothing physically. So now you got to put stress on his knee on a physical standpoint, as along with a movement standpoint. And I'd rather him ramp up a long ramp up before he does that. You say Simmons. Which Simmons are you talking about? Let me put this out here. What Simmons are you talking about? What Simmons are you talking about? And tell me what you're talking about, Freight. Well, what Simmons you talking about? Freight Train, tell me what Simmons are you talking about? I know there's a lot of things out there being talked about, being trades. I know that they talked about, I think that we talked about, let me put this out here too. Justin Simmons. Is that the Justin Simmons from where? He's a safety? Is that the guy? That's not the guy from Tennessee, is it? Yeah, Learfield takes bad angles. it's some things with Leofold that there's a little bit reckless, and they're trying to tone that recklessness into a better skilled linebacker. And if he can tone those things in, but sometimes we see a play from a guy and then we want to put him out there and then we don't really adjust. We don't go back and look and see how well he's playing. We see a splash play and then we just say that's the guy. And I try to tell people, man, football players are not made off splash plays. And winning the crowd is good, but if you try to go and play guys off winning the crowd, you can get yourself fired quickly. Because winning the crowd, they see a play or two here, but you see the guy every day, every play. And if we don't trust our guys to make a decision when seeing them play every play, okay, the free safety just okay. Where's Justin Simmons playing at right now? Yeah, T. Smooth said, listen. He said, I see, Coach, I seen what you said about Dak and the tight window throws. Yes. And yes, it's his best trait. Now, hear it again. Here it is again. Quarterbacks do what they like to do. So that's what he likes to do. He likes to throw those tight window throws. Just like Love, the quarterback Green Bay, likes to throw outside the numbers. Love don't like to throw in the middle of the field. Just like the quarterback for Washington, the young quarterback for Washington, he loves throwing the ball across the field, in the middle of the field. He doesn't like throwing the ball outside the numbers. Dak likes throwing it, but we want Dak to have a little bit easier throws. And I think there may be some easier throws. Yeah. I need to probably try StreamYard, man. I'm on Riverside right now. Cowboy Champs. I'm on Riverside platform, which it does real good. I'm just trying to learn. It makes no difference for whatever platform I'm on. I got to learn how to do it anyway, man. But yeah, over the years, he never really, no, our receivers ain't gonna be wide open. And if we looking for, if y'all looking for Pickens to be wide open, he doesn't get separation. And everybody talked about that. Talk about separation. Talking about how much a receiver need to get separation. Tober get more separation than Pickens. Pickens don't get no separation. That's not his game plan. So I would say this right now. You got to be very precise in what you throw the ball. Yeah, Justin Simmons is a free. I figured Justin Simmons. Again, Justin is just like, let me tell you something, people, Freight Train, Justin Simmons is just like that Clowney. Justin Simmons is not the name Justin Simmons is no more. There's something that seems, if you got it, he's on the street for this long, there's something that the NFL teams have seen that he's got a hickey up in his game. And if we looking for him to come in and be that guy, check how he's been playing before he became a free agent. And it may be okay, but he's more of a name than a big-time commodity. And the other thing is he may be a little bit more have more instincts, but he still might be slow. He might be slower. Again, I need athletes. I'd rather go with younger guys that not named that, and that's why I like Wanya Thomas. Wanya Thomas is bigger and faster than all these guys. I just want him to show his athletic ability and his physicality, and we'll work with everything else. I'm just telling you, y'all think this defense is a long way off. This defense is just a couple of athletes to just show some athleticism and aggressiveness, and we'll be all right. But I think we're laid back, and sometimes our laid back is because we just ain't got no more. And I think if we show a little bit more aggressive in the back end, you'll start to see that we're going to start getting to the quarterback. Because if we start closing those windows down a little bit, we're going to make the quarterback hold the ball. The quarterbacks are not holding the ball against us. Sacks are come about when you make a quarterback hold the ball. Makes no difference you in the zone or not. In your film study, you know a route combination. In your film study and your aggressiveness, if you're able to close the gap, you're making sure the guys, when you do try to test us deep. We got guys that's going to make sure that those may turn into interceptions or pass breakups, which that kills it down. When a team try to throw a long pass and they don't get it, it kills them because that's a down going by. That's called a negative play to them. When you intercept it, yeah, that's turning the ball over. But you can't let guys, when they throwing the ball deep on those deep routes, I think in the last 2 games, teams completing 65, 70% of those. Where the average when you're throwing a deep route like that is like a 30% probability. See what I'm saying? See, these are digging deep. See, numbers are numbers. But I'm telling you, these numbers mean what coaches. When you throw a 9 route, a straight fly route, that's a low percentage pass. That usually in the NFL, that's only going, especially in the NFL, most times you only complete that 30% of the time. That's 3 out of 10 times. But if I'm telling you that they're throwing passes over 50 yards and they're completing it on a 60%, 65% rate, that's double the rate of the average. You ain't holding the ball, you're attacking the field. If we could turn that down back to just incompletes to 30% or even a pickoff here and there, teams are not going to try that because it's low percentage. They're not going to blow it down. Now, you're going to be able to squeeze and make people hold the ball. Just hold the ball just a second, and now we got chances we can do stunts. Maybe blitz a guy to go 5 or give our players time to get there. I hope y'all follow. I know this out, but that's the things that are being talked about behind closed doors. These are the things coaches talk about. It's not all about just getting direct pass rush. Then, and how we going to start getting pressure? You're seeing teams in the NFL that, teams in the NFL don't have everybody team don't have no pass rusher, but you got to start being able to manufacture pressure. You're going to watch the Green Bay Packers manufacture pressure, and they manufacture pressure with Michael Parsons. You say, what do you mean, Coach? What you mean by that? When you bring Michael Parsons from different areas, from the linebacker position, you're not bringing him as a pass rusher as per se on the line of scrimmage. You're putting him in areas to manufacture pressure. We got to come and learn how to manufacture pressure. But first, we got to be more aggressive on the back end. Does that mean we need to be in bump and run? No. That means we have to study. We have to have a zone that's active. It's almost like a zone in basketball. If you go play a zone in basketball and your guy just standing in one damn spot and not moving with the basketball, and they're not reacting to the basketball, yeah, you have a team come in and beat the hell out of them. But if you play the zone that UNLV played, which is the Amoeba zone, where you had active hands and guys moving, cutting off passing lane, attacking the ball, they were very active, it's hard to score in that zone. Same thing in football. It's not about you being in the zone. It's about how you play a zone. And guess what? If you got better athletes, let me tell you this. Now I'm finna shoot something y'all ain't hear. Y'all hear this, and you probably heard it before. If I got better athletes that are quick twitch and fast and long, the best defense is to play a zone. Now you're gonna say, well, Coach, well, we should be playing man-to-man. Well, we're gonna be hurting man-to-man because teams really gonna attack us in man-to-man. But if we get better athletically, we play zones, we're gonna be able to attack. Why? Because eyes are on the ball. And your eyes on the ball, you should be able to react and bait people better. But we're not playing instinctively. And I think that's the thing that's really that's really hurting. That's the thing that's really getting on Matt Eberflus, making Matt Eberflus upset, as well as probably the passing game coordinator. We're not acting instinctively. There's a lot of stuff that you're watching on the film, and I'll tell anybody, let's watch the film. There's a lot of stuff on the film that we're watching that's instinct should tell you that shouldn't happen. You should not let a guy pass through, and the safety see the guy pass through, and then, like on that big play with the tight end caught the ball in the first half of the Cowboys. You got a safety that playing way over the top of a wide receiver where the corner was already playing the third. And the corner was already over top. And then Donovan Wilson was going to pass him down the field. Why? Why are you so far down the field and the corner already have him? What? You guarding air. And then you allow the guy underneath, which they played zone, where they say gave you a high-low. So you put the guy in a bad situation. Then the first thing people say, your linebacker, he supposed to back. He's not. This one not cover 2 where he's running with the guy. This is cover a zone coverage. He's covering underneath. He just can't keep backpedaling. He passes it off, and he said, "Okay, there's 2 guys behind me. We got to be able to have smart to say, we got this guy covered 2 on. We just can't back up and allow this guy to stand there." And then when he caught the ball, instead of our safety coming down like Donald Wilson and attacking the guy, he comes down to stop and almost get run over. Instinct, man. Great question. Let's look at this question. Yes. Great question about Green Bay and about the running game, about Williams and Hunter. Let me tell you something. Let me give you my impressions of the Green Bay defense. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it. The reason why Green Bay is 2-1 and should be 3-1, 3-0, is because their offense is, even though their offense is okay, but their offense is their Achilles heel. Their defense is their mandate. Let me say that again. Their defense is their mandate, and that's their defense playing well without a Michael Parsons. Their 2 middle linebackers, number 55 and 7, and their safeties and their overall team speed is attacking the football on run and in pass. You have to be physical with them to slow them down. So regardless if we run the ball for 40 or 50 yards, 2 or 3 yard carries, back to back, and then a 5-yard pass, and getting first downs and keeping them on the field is what we need. We cannot abandon the run and say we're going to throw the ball 40 or 50 times with Dak Prescott with that pass rush. That's destruction. We have to, regardless, we have to run the ball. And I don't want to hear this thing about, well, we run the ball, we only get 3 yards a carry, coach. We're not. No. 3-yard carry is a good carry against this defense because it slows the legs down. And then if we become a strictly play action pass team, we can limit the stats because that's run action blocking. And with run action blocking, guess what that stops? Run action blocking cuts the games down. You cannot do run. You can't put Michael Parsons all over the field and bring him from different levels and run stunts with him with cross stunts and come in there if you're throwing play action passes. You can't do stunts on defense against play action passes because when you do stunts, if it is a run, your ass is grass. This is how. All right, man. Listen, man. Y'all should support the channel with either super chats or do the support thanks thing and say, hey, man. Or if you want to support Coach Marv right now, hey, man, send him a Cash App. The Cash App is on there. But let me give you another nugget right now when we talk about why teams do things. Some people say, well, why you run the ball? What you mean, coach, by running the ball and being consistent in running the ball and slowing the legs down of a team? All right. Let me explain what that means. When you're consistent with the run, regardless of how successful you are, is that action, that pounding, that coming at them, that slows the defensive legs down. The defense cannot get in what we call a full blue running stance and come off the ball. I don't know if y'all seen the clip when Ray Lewis was talking about, it's a thing that was on YouTube, and he was talking about his defense and how he used to say bird, 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 and he said rabbit, rabbit. What he was doing is telling his defensive line, when he said bird, that means I think it's a pass, fly off the ball to get to the quarterback. When he said rabbit, he was like, hey, go down, because they come and run. If you fly off the ball, they're going to block you. They're going to get on us. This is how defensive linemen think. Let me give you a prime example of this happening, and give you a prime example when it doesn't work the way. When you don't be consistent with the run. I didn't say that you got to run for 300 yards, but you have to have a physical component. First, you got to stop big plays so you don't get behind the 8-ball, but you have to have a physical play. Now, let me give you 2 instances where it didn't work and where it worked at. Let's go to the Super Bowl. And let's go to the Super Bowl with the Eagles and Kansas City. And we're going to go to the first Super Bowl that Kansas City won. Do you know in the first Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts had a big game passing? And yes, Mahomes had an okay game passing. But do you know that Kansas City had more rushing attempts than Philadelphia in that game? Do you know that year that they played in the Super Bowl, Eagles set almost an NFL record for sacks in that year, where they had Sweat and Hassan Reddick and all those other guys? They really could get after the quarterback. Do you understand in that game when the Eagles, Kansas City got behind 10 points coming out of halftime, that they came back and they ran the ball 5 or 7 consecutive times in the second half on that drive to get their first touchdown? And they kept running the ball until they tired the Eagles' pass rush down, and then they started to pass the ball because the legs was gone from the Eagles' pass rush. And then they started doing play-action passes because they knew in that game, if they just dropped back and passed, that the Eagles was going to hunt Mahomes down. But by being consistent with the run, Pacheco ain't had him but 75 yards, but being consistent with the run, gave a physical presence, and they slowed the legs down from the pass rush. And then when the fourth quarter came, he had time to do what he needed to do. Now let's go to this past Super Bowl. The inability of Kansas City to say, we aren't even going to try to run the football. I think in the first half, they only carried it 6 times. And then they start allowing the Eagles to tee off and attack their offensive line. The exact same way the reason Kansas City lost the game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because they ain't trying to run the ball then. You allow good teams to attack your offensive line because they're coming at them with blitzes and stunts and everything else. The stuff you can't do if you're scared that they may run the football. The Eagles in this past Super Bowl game, right? They ran Hurts. They ran Saquon Barkley 30 times, even though he wasn't getting no yards. Do you remember? But that slowed the Kansas City pass rush down because they knew Kansas City could dial up pressure. And Hurts was under pressure a lot of time when they went straight drop back because they knew Kansas City was going to blitz and dial up pressure. But they're consistent, even though it wasn't running the ball well, of the pounding, slowed Kansas City down, and then Hurts started hitting them with the big plays because they slowed the pass rush down. That's what adding a physical presence and being committed to the run game does. And in this game, that we're about to play Sunday, if we're not committed to letting our offensive linemen pound on them and slow their finesse players down, we're going to be in trouble. So Williams, two things that we got to do. And this game would be a very profitable game if I'm in Big D, and I think we could win a game, and I'll be like, man, great, we coming back with a victory. We got to if we limit Green Bay big plays, and we are physical with the run game. I'm saying that we got to get 1,000 yards. But Williams, the running backs, if Blue gonna play, we got to get 35 carries out of our run game. Limit them on big plays, 35 carries out of our run game from our running backs. Throw in about 3 or 4 runs from Dak Prescott. Let Dak put it up by 30 times, 32 times. I guarantee you the sacks will be down. We'll control the tempo of the game. But if we go in this game and we only run the ball with our running backs 15 or 16 times, we're gonna get blown out. And they're gonna be all on Dak like crazy. Not because our offensive line can't block, because then they're gonna be able to dial up pressure for people like Michael Parsons, Gaddy, and the middle linebackers, because we have made ourselves one-dimensional and we're playing a finesse football game. And if we commit to the run, there's going to be times in there where Dak going to have chances to make big plays in the passing game. Now, 25, that corner number 25 over there, he don't give up no separation anyway. And he's probably going to be on Pickens. But this is a game for Flournoy, Jalen Tolbert, your tight end, to be stars. That's what you do, opportunity. Go out and make your name. Go out and make your name. That don't mean we need you to be no guy to catch 100 passes. But make your name. But a physical presence, people. This is why our team run a physical presence. Because when you have a physical presence, let me tell you what it does with a defense coordinator. Let me put my defense coordinator hat on. I'm a defense coordinator. I got a package that I put in with my players, and I can say, okay, I got a guy like Michael Parsons, I got number 55 like the blitz, I got Gavin, I got a what we call a NASCAR team. I'm going to put them out there on first and maybe second down, because what I'm going to do now is dial up cross stunts in the middle, bring it Michael Parsons from the linebacker so I can match him up on a guard or a center. I got things now with guys getting up the field fast, because I'm doing stunts now to confuse you and to match up with people on pass blocking. But let's say you run what we call a cross buck or waggle play action pass where guys are pulling and guys are coming off the ball 2 yards to get into guys, and you trying to run that stunt. I catch you in those stunts, we stop your feet. Now Dak's standing back there by himself, count 1, count 2, count 3, because the run action, play action, stop your feet because the guys came off the ball. Now you got, as a pass rusher, you got to start back up. Once I stop your feet and then you start back up, you done lost that pass rushing game. That's what play action pass does for you. It stopped. That's why the better teams that got play action must have thrown most play action passes. And they do it off the run, because if I give you that threat that I will be physical in the run game, and you got to be physical in the run game when you run the ball twice in a series. You run the ball, get 3 yards, you got to come right back and run it again and get 4 yards, 5 yards. You got to get in this game. We got to be a 3rd down and 3. We got to be able to run the ball on 3rd down and 3. 3rd down, 4 and 3. We got to be conditioned in our mind that we're going to run the ball on 3rd down and 4. Because if you make 3rd down and 4 on one run, you change the whole outlook of the defensive coordinator. I'm just telling you, fellas. I'm just telling you, people out there, what is thought about on the sideline. If you run the ball on 3rd down and 4 or 5 and get a first down, the whole mindset of the defensive coordinator from how he's calling the rest of that game, you have changed and now you're in advantage. Because now he can't say we can go all out. There's no doubt that you're going to pass on 3rd down and 5. Now I got to protect myself in the run game with my defensive call, and it can't be full blow pass rush and pass. Now who's in control? The offense is in control because now we have made you start to think more as a defensive coordinator. These are the games that you're playing. You know, let me tell you something. Y'all could be on a lot of shows. Y'all ain't getting that from which I'm giving you. You ain't getting from a lot of shows. Think about this when you're watching the game. If it's a 3rd down and 4, we run the ball and get 5 or 6 yards, I want you to have a little checkbook and say, check it off and say, uh-oh, that was a big play. It wasn't over a 5-yard game, 6-yard game. That was a big play. Because now we have put the seed in their mind that NASCAR package they come out with, and it's 3rd down and 4 and 5. Well, I don't know if I can do that. We done changed this sub package. So now when it's 3rd down and 3 or 2, he done changed his sub package. Because guess what? Green Bay gonna run the ball on 3rd down and 3 or 4. Because they're trying to slow you down. Because they don't want you to get out the glove. And they're gonna keep a physical presence. So closing out, man, because I got to get some things together, man. I got to get myself together and get some and make some phone calls and get myself together because I'm leaving out sometime tomorrow to come to catch a flight to Dallas, man. I'm gonna be in Dallas on tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon, probably tomorrow night. Any of y'all in Dallas that's in this chat, I'll plan on going live sometime. Hopefully, I'll get with boss and those guys. I know a lot of people busy doing a lot of things, and I'm gonna be there. Me and my friends gonna be there. So we gonna once we get there, we ain't like we rent the car. We trying to go to the game. We gonna be sitting in the hotel, maybe try to get some Uber to go to some place, and want to go out there and get some good food, man. Got to get some good Texas food and just relax, man, and get ready to a game. I know it's gonna be system overload for me because like I said, ain't never been to Dallas to a football game, so that's gonna be system overload because everything they say big in Texas. So hoping I enjoy, man. I'm very prayerful that and thankful that it's gonna be the anytime God gives me, bless me with anything. It's no more than I'm appreciative. Just to wake up in the morning and just have an opportunity to even come and this opportunity to sit here and talk to y'all and to be able to give my wisdom and my knowledge to you, and for y'all to come in and come back and just to see where y'all at as a fan base and say, hey, not argue with you, not disagree with, just give our point of view. And I appreciate the point of views that y'all giving, man. But I just hope y'all take a little bit from Coach Marv Real Talk. And this is the reason why it's called Real Talk, because we're going to talk about the real things about football. And I leave you with the things that we need to do. And I say go out and win a game. One, we got to have the mentality we're going to win the game. Hey, if you, hey, Freight Train, you in Blythewood, right? And you'll be tailgating for the Cowboys versus Panthers, man. I don't know if I'll be, I do the live stream for the game, but I would like to hook up sometime, man. If you're in Blythewood, inbox me a number, man. Inbox me, don't put it in the chat, but inbox me a number. So give me inbox me a number. If you're on Twitter, go to my Twitter account, or if you send me a message, an internal message in this account, man, send it or email me. If you just look up my account and see my email address, email me a number, man. We can get together, man. We right here in South Carolina, man. Yeah, let's hook up, man. But listen, I say this calmly, man. The things that we need to do. First, we got to have the right mentality to win a football game. We got to be mad. It's time for the attitude change of being mad at just men and what we thought we were as a good football team. We're not playing good football, and we should be saying we are mad about how we're playing as a team. If Schottenheim been trying to push as a team, guys being hurt don't mean the team loses. Bob shop day, and I didn't even have nothing to say when this guy came in. He was a big time San Francisco fan, and he was trying to bait me into talking about him. But he really had my, and Coach Marv don't usually be quiet, but he had me quiet because there was nothing I could say to that San Francisco San Francisco 49er fan. There was nothing I could say to him because his team, he could talk about his team winning the Super Bowl because his team not playing with their quarterback. Their best weapon, Kittle's been hurt since the first quarter of the first game, and he out for 3 to 4 weeks. They just lost Bosa in the first quarter of the last game. They don't have Deebo Samuels no more. And McCaffrey is not running for no 200 yards a game. He's being very pedestrian in his running game. They got rid of a lot of their players from last year. Defensive linemen that they got that's gone to other team. They got rid of a lot of players. They went a total youth movement. They did it with draft picks. They picked up no big time free agents. They did it the right way, and they're 3-0. Now, does this go playing into win a Super Bowl? But they're 3-0. We are 1-3, 1-2. And we're talking about we need to go out and get all these free agents and do all this trade. They didn't do that. They traded guys away to get picks. They put in the work. They gave guys opportunities. And they expected the guys that made this team to play football. If you made that team, you could play. And that's the attitude. If you make this team, you can play. And you know something? When I say attitude change, it's got to be a fan attitude change, but this team need to get mad and say, hey, we put a team together. We can play. I don't care if it's the guy on the practice squad or the guys on this team. You can play if you made the NFL team. So when we talk about looking for other guys, I don't see other teams doing that. And what that do is sound desperate. And desperate don't win. What's going to win is we get the right mindset and go out and play. I don't think we the worst talented football team in the world. I don't think we got to go out there and change the whole thing. Teams have injuries. And the only way we was going to win is we had the top line guys all the time. I hear this thing about we top-headed. Well, every team ain't top-headed. Listen, teams are going to, and that's why I know that we don't watch other football teams play. Because if we really watched other games and heard what they said about some of the guys on the Seattle defense that were 3rd and 4th, 5th round, and they done worked their way into starting roles, guys that coming back injuries, a lot of guys that they ain't no name brand, and how they put their defense together. And we hear about how the Cardinals put their defense together with 5th and 6th corners. We would say, you know something? We ain't in no bad spot. We just got to play. But we don't watch football enough. We watch the Cowboys, and we watch highlights of other games, and then we think names. Plug and play a name, and it's going to be all right. Football don't work that way, baby. The greatest team sport alive. A team sport that names every week. Every week a star is born. Every week there's a star born on the NFL rosters every week. Every week there's a guy that builds confidence that's growing, that builds into a very quality player. Every week. Every week there's teams that have mistakes. There's teams that have adversity. And teams that can get a multitude of people to come together and play well together are usually the teams that stay on the end. I ain't bragging about San Francisco, damn San Francisco. But it's the truth. They're not doing it with no names. They're doing it with grind and work and getting the best out of their players. And y'all have heard me say that on many occasions. Our problem is that we don't get the best out of what we got. And we want more. Don't that sound like a spoiled brat child that has something he don't even get the best out of it, and he expects you to buy some more? And guess what ends up? You're going to keep buying and buying and buying, and he ain't going to get no better. Somewhere down the line, the leaders on this team got to get mad. Somewhere on this team, we got to stop saying, well, we ain't going to play that guy because he know we want experience. Let these young guys go, because if they can't step in and play, they don't need to be on this damn team. And that's point blank. Now it's time to see Wanye Thomas and Bell and see if they can be starting safeties in this league. And they need to go out there and see if they can get their because if they can't, and they've been here 3-4 years, they're busts. If you can't be a starter after 3-4 years and on a team, then you ain't gonna ever be a starter. And you don't keep backups on the team for 7-8 years. Backups are only for 3 years at the most. And then they either got to be starters or they need to be replaced by young. That's just how the NFL is, baby. So the first thing we have to do is change our attitude. The second thing we got to do, we got to be able to read the keys of this football team. We got to understand that Green Bay has beaten us in the last 3 years is because what? They want big plays. We got to look at the blueprint of what the Cleveland Browns did to them by limiting their big plays, and we got to be on point to limit their big plays. And what I told you about big plays, defenses give up big plays for 3 reasons. And what Coach Marv said those big reasons is, and you can have any coach out there and anybody else want to argue with me, let them come argue with me. But there's 3 reasons why defenses give up big plays. 1, non-discipline in alignment or assignment. Either they're undisciplined in how they line up, or they're undisciplined in the assignments that they had in the lineups that they're supposed to be in. We got to be disciplined in our lineup and assignment, assignments. The second reason why teams give up big plays is because they're either not physical enough or the effort is bad. We're the underdogs at home. We're playing against one of the better teams in the NFC East. We're playing against the NFC division. We're playing against a team that beat us the last 3-4 times we have played them. I don't even know when the last time we beat Green Bay. And that's home or away. We're on Sunday night. People kicking dust on us. We're at home. So if you're not coming to be physical and you're not coming to give it all your effort, you're going to get big plays on you. The second reason why teams give up big plays a lot, defenses, because they're not either physical enough or they don't have the effort. I see us punish every time receiver catch the ball underneath. I want to see us punish guys that we get fumbles on receivers running about. I want guys to try to find places to lay down and not make extra yards. And if you put pass on guys will find places to lay down and not just try to get extra yards. Physicality or effort is the second reason why teams get big plays on your defense. The third reason it could be is you don't have enough athletes. And if you ain't got more in the juice to tank Malik Hooker to be more instinctive and attack and physical, you ain't got the speed or the attack ability like you used to have, Donovan Wilson, then I got to find somebody else in that back, these younger guys, and let them roll with more athleticism and more attack. And we ain't got time, Diggs, for you to be on this tip about you want to make plays. I need you attacking the run game and up there and knocking the ball out. You got hurt last week, Diggs, on that tackle on your neck, because that was one of the most piss poor tackles that I ever seen a defensive back. You lucky you didn't get your neck broke, because that was a tackle that you just showing everybody in the whole world that you don't want to tackle somebody. And when you do that and teams see it on film, they try you. You just bringing more attention. And the athletic part, if y'all ain't, we need to get more athletic in the back end. If that's playing other guys that's more athletic, fine. That's going to shut down big plays, because with athletes, I watched the game the other day with Arizona. They had athletes. Those guys might have been young, but they was athletic. I watched a guy make a misstep, and the guy ran by, and I watched the defensive back, who's a rookie, a 5th round draft choice, run the receiver down and break up the pass in the end zone, because of the athletic ability. He was wrong in his step, but he had the athletic ability to get back. So 3 reasons: discipline, undisciplined alignment or assignment, not physical and no effort, or we just ain't athletes. But those are 3 reasons why big plays come. And when you got to change your mentality and you got to bring some to get some on Sunday night. I'm coming thousands of miles for my first game in Dallas. I'm coming with one of the biggest Green Bay fans I know, a guy that I've been friends with since I was 5 years old. And he's been a Green Bay fan as long as I've been knowing him, as I've been a Cowboy fan. And he come to Dallas. We get a chance to experience going to Dallas together. And what a memorable experience that's going to be. But I ain't trying to come there for him to talk trash to me the whole time and talk about how his team won. Hell no. So let's put on a performance Sunday night. Let's have some pride about us, Cowboys. We got to come in there with the performance to stop big plays. And we got to come in there with a performance that we're going to be physical in our offense, and we're going to be the one that's going to dictate the physicality. We ain't got to worry about we get a 100-yard runner, but we're going to get those carries, and we're going to be patient, and we're going to play we're not going into this game to be playing knockout blows. We're going in there to pound you, and then we're going to throw out knockout blows. But we got to be procedural, and we got to be physical. And we playing with some backup offensive linemen. But they got to bring it out, baby. They got to bring it out. Because when you got younger linemen, guess what? They rather be physical than be finesse. Let's be physical come Sunday night. I hope you like my show. In my right-hand corner, I got down here, man. I appreciate all y'all that came in. I know I got a super chat thing that's working. I don't know how to work it, man. I need to find out how to be able to see it on Riverside. If you gave a super chat, I don't know if you did or not. I don't know if I can see it. I don't know if it comes up. I got to find out how I need to probably go live on YouTube where I can probably see it. But I thank you so much for your support. I thank you for being in the chat. Hey, man, I'm going to leave you with a couple of words. That's what's going to take us to win, man. The first word is sacrifice. This team needs to sacrifice for each other. And everybody go out hard. Second thing, man, we got to show a lot of discipline. Discipline in our assignments and alignments, discipline in our how we attack things. And I say this, man, at this particular point, we can't get to the point that we don't trust our coaching. It's tough for this coaching staff. We're trying to change the whole culture. And we're trying to get this team to play persistence, consistent, at a consistent level. And it may not look good, but now it's coming down to the players to get mad so we can make this work. And I need to see that anger out of them with discipline. This offense has to have a physical presence. We got to have the physical presence of this game. We have to win the physical battle. There's 4 battles, remember I told you? The effort and the physicality. We got to win the turnover battle. And most time most physical team win the turnover battle. We done lost the turnover battle the last couple of years in this team. We got to win the explosive play battle. We got to limit them, and we got to get explosive plays in our kicking game. And we got to win the penalty battle like we've been winning. But, hey, we get some more penalties for being a little bit aggressive on defense. I'm happy with that. At least we're showing some aggression. So those are the things I say, man, that we gotta stop, man. And hopefully we do those things and we get to the point of doing those things. And hopefully we get to that point, man. And that's where we got to be, man. If you like the show, man, you want to support the channel, they had this thing, but if you want to support the channel in another way, if you want to support the channel with Cash App and some support, we're going to try, when we come back from Dallas with being monetized, getting close to having the big monetization, we're going to try to come back and put some extra things with extra computers and getting a producer for shows, and we're going to start hosting some shows. I'm going to start doing 2 things. I'm going to start hosting some shows and get some more stuff, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have what we call Coach's Corner live stream watch parties for the Thursday night football games. And we may incorporate a couple of college games on Saturday that may be major college teams that we're going to show so we can get an outlook that I'm going to be on there and you're going to join me and come on with me. Some of you people come on with me so we can get an outlook of how I view the college game, which the college game is viewed differently than the pro game. But we're going to do the Thursday night games to get a look at Thursday night games so we can learn from other teams. We can see the problems of other teams. We can see how other teams are playing with different type of players. And that's going to be our thing. We're going to call Coach's Corner live watch party with these games. And some of those are going to be where we're going to scout the teams that we're going to play, or some of the teams that we're going to watch that we may play later on in the season. That's going to be our thing that we're going to do every Thursday while we're having the season. And, of course, when we're having on Thursday night, of course, I'll be on the live stream with Boss Cowboy, Amp Sports, Lou Takes, West Coast, Henry Moore. All of us will be on the live party when we're watching our games. I won't be on the live party this week, but it will be on my channel. So if you're going to watch the live party, come on my channel and watch it off my channel. I won't be able to interact with you because I will be at the game. I may pop in on my channel and maybe put a comment in there. I may talk to Boss or something from the game on my phone. But come on and watch it on my channel. I need the watch hours. And if you want to come on my channel and you want to leave a super chat on my channel and support, or give me a support, or do anything to support the channel on my channel when y'all watching the live party when we win this football game, then do that. But if you want to support the channel, getting out of here to go to Dallas, man, Downside PBS 12. But you're supporting the channel enough by just being with me and riding with me. This man, and we're gonna learn football together. We're gonna learn football together. We're gonna learn what we can do. Let's get together, Cowboy fans, and let's go out and win one. But as I always end my show, Cowboy players, Cowboy coaches, let's get our mind on our work. Get your mind on your work. Your work is the Green Bay Packers in prime time, Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Time. Get your mind on your work. Salute. Next time we'll talk, I'll be in Dallas. Peace.